Well, hello, Gold participants from around the world, and welcome to Gold Perinatal Online Conference for 2013. I'm Fiona Langsharp, IBCLC and Public Relations Coordinator for Gold Perinatal. Well, welcome everybody. I have the pleasure of sitting down with Lynne's staff today, and she's going to be one of our presenters at our online conference. And her title of her presentation is Caesarean Section, Representations, Ruminations, and Reality. So welcome, Lynne. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us here today.
Thank you, Fiona. It's really good to be here.
So Lynne, I have a few questions for you about your presentation. So tell me a little bit more about the research that's not well publicized about this topic.
Well, there is an abundance of research around Caesarean, and there's been increasing research that relates to maternal request Caesarean, but relatively little research has investigated number one, why normal healthy young women are opting for this for a first pregnancy, but also looking at the change in how Caesarean has come to be seen over its lifetime. And I think there's real scope to actually look at the evolution, I guess, of what I have come to call in my heart a sociology of Caesarean. And maybe some people aren't really interested in that aspect of Caesarean, but I think it's really ripe for research and for inquiry.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, and I really appreciate you being able to find this, and be a part of your heart, because then the expression is it has a lot more depth. So thank you. So just touching on that a little bit more, maybe you can tell me when you first became interested in this topic.
Oh, that's a good question. I honestly, I guess my interest in it began with looking at birth after Caesarean. The common acronym VBAC, vaginal birth after Caesarean, but more commonly, interestingly as well, that term has come to be changed from VBAC to BAC, birth after Caesarean. So again, there's that dulling down of even the vaginal side of things, but that's another story. So I guess it's when I was approached, when I had my private practice, about a number of women who wanted to have a vaginal birth after Caesarean. And because I was interested in this topic and supported women for many, many years for this, some research and a research opportunity came my way to actually look at what factors influence women to choose a vaginal birth following a Caesarean, and whether their Caesarean experience had anything to do with their choice. But an offshoot from this research was that I started investigating women's lived experiences of Caesarean, what it's like for them to be leading up to that, to the decision, the lived experience in an operating room, and their thoughts about it afterwards. And this I found absolutely fascinating. And there has been almost no research done in this area about what it's like to be in an operating room, having a baby by Caesarean, and one thing just led to another, and then I became interested in sociology, and the rest is history, really.
Well, that's great. It sounds like it's been a very important journey to yourself. So I'm very excited to hear your full presentation. Perhaps briefly you can just tell us, what are you hoping that our delegates will learn from this presentation?
I guess, if nothing else, to really stop and consider Caesarean, because it's become so common and so normalized, and even though it's safer than it's ever been, I would really love delegates, when they think Caesarean, to really stop and think, where have we come from with this, and where are we going with this? Because we are finding unintended consequences of Caesareans now that can only be made apparent because of the sheer numbers of Caesareans that are being done today, and the implications that this has, not only for women for their short and longer term health, but also for the infants born to those women. And particularly, I think we're going to find some, in the future, I think we will find very important information about long-term health of infants born to women who have no labour caesareans. This is just a conjecture on my part, but there's a lot of really interesting work that is being done relating to epigenetics and so on that I think we're in for some surprises in the future about this.
Well, that is fantastic, Lynn. Now I just want to hear the rest of it, but unfortunately we don't have time for all of that today, and you know, I want to be able to share this with many of our delegates as well. So thank you for that little teaser into your presentation. It has been a delight sitting down with you today. And for all of those out there, well, we thank you for listening in today, and thank Lynn's staff for her brief little teaser about her presentation, Caesarean Section, Representations, Ruminations, and Reality. Thanks again, everyone, for listening, and thank you, Lynne, again. Have a great day.